Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. This is episode 134. Joined with Nick Gwynn, Will Snowball on the call. How we doing?
What's up, man?
Chilling.
Haven't seen Will in a minute on here.
Man, every time y'all do a pod, I'm at work, bro.
Oh, all right.
Every time. It never fails.
But we are back with some more NFL free agency stuff, kind of wrapping up free agency. This probably will be the last NFL football kind of pod till post-draft. Getting into some basketball after that. Playoffs is about to ramp up for that. About 10 to 15 games left in the NBA season. But we do have some other stuff to get into for NFL that has happened. We can start out really with Will, who is a Steelers fan.
You're
Bunch of moves. You can kind of go off of like all their moves because we kind of touched on a lot of different points on our first free agency episode. But you got Justin Fields, Patrick Queen. You can kind of go into the whole ordeal about them.
Bet. Oh, man, it's a great day to be a Steeler fan. Like, this is probably the best offseason I've ever seen. Normally, we are the franchise that loves to sit back, let everything else happen. We kind of snag people in the last few days. We drop money on bets that don't work out. Like last year, we had Allen Robinson on a 1-year deal. That didn't work out. And it's like, we're finally fucking just making moves early. Like you guys talked about last time, it sounded like, Russell Wilson on a 1-year. If we get 2021 Russ, anything but 2022 Russ or 2023 Russ, we're good. Even last year Russ wasn't terrible. He wasn't the biggest issue in Denver. We get Patrick Queen, massive move. We got him on a 3-year deal. In division, one of the best linebackers in the AFC, in my opinion. He's young. That dude plays with that dude plays like he's going to fucking rip your head off every single down. So
Isn't he only like 24?
Yeah, he's super young.
Like 24, 25 or something like that.
26, 25. He's got to be pushing 26. He's on his, let me look that up. He's on the back. He was done with his rookie year, so he's got to be pushing. Oh wow, he is only 24. Holy shit, that's insane. He came out of college young as hell then. Yeah, so I guess he's only 24. And then we go and get fucking Justin Fields for a 6th round pick. Like, sure. No, if there were I don't know why he came to us. Apparently there were a bunch of teams that were offering, but Omar Khan is just, that motherfucker loves fleecing the Bears, and I'm here for it. So
see, I don't get why, if there was better offers for Fields, like, you're gonna get rid of, like, that's the one thing I don't understand. If there's better offers, and if I understand if it's in division, but if there was better offers, why not take the offer?
Some teams, you want to have a good standing with the players, like knowing that you do right by them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
something
fair.
like that.
I know there were a lot of rumors Fields wanted to come to us,
and it probably wasn't that big of a difference. Like it probably was like a 5th rounder instead of a 6th. Like, okay. I guarantee there was no team out here offering like a 2nd or a 3rd. Probably not.
No way. So I feel like, we have done really. I am actually very excited for this season coming up. Like, we traded Kenny Pickett too. We got a fucking
Deontay
3rd
Johnson.
rounder. Man, like,
Deontay Johnson was questionable.
For
what y'all got back was questionable.
Deontay, I think what we're trying to do is set the precedent of, if you don't want to be here, you don't got to be here. You can go. Deontay Johnson wasn't showing effort last year a lot, and so we fucking sent him on his way. Kenny Pickett wanted to cry like a little baby. Sent him on his way. I mean, if you don't want to play here, I think Omar Khan is setting the precedent. You're gone. It's that simple. We'll get rid of you. Sure. I think George Pickens is going to be happy. He's the number 1, solidified. He's got a good deep ball thrower in Russell Wilson. That's one thing that I am a little nervous about is, like, what are we going to go and address now, either in the draft or later in free agency? We need another receiver. Right now, our number 2 is Calvin Austin. That's a little scary. And we need another cornerback or safety. Actually, no, we just picked up the old Dolphin safety. Fuck, what was his name?
Oh,
he's young too.
Jerome Baker?
No, That's a linebacker.
Is he? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the name that
hold
just
on.
came to mind. He was on the Dolphins at some point.
Deshaun Elliott to a 2-year deal. We got him pretty cheap. So we got Deshaun Elliott. We got Justin Fields. Van Jefferson, though, for cheap for a 1 year. I like that as a big play threat. As a number 2, no. He's not a number 2. But as like as another guy to slot in,
y'all might go
I
into
like
the season
that.
with him as a 2, though.
We might have to just because of what's available. Man, there were talks we might get Mike Williams. I would have. Oh my God,
that would have been something.
That would have been huge. But he went to the Jets. I get it. Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, good defense. Win now. I get it.
Brees Hall.
We also got Dante Jackson for Deontay Johnson. I didn't watch a lot of him, but if he's going to be a 3 or like a guy that rotates in, sure, I'll take it. I hope we can go and sign Snead low key. And I am really hoping that we go and get center in the draft. But I'm excited.
Just looking at like some of the remaining like free agent receivers, like you have Tyler Boyd, somebody you could probably try to snag in division.
I like that.
Looking at it, like Odell's still out there. I know Odell is up and down, but I mean Odell's better than the number 2 you guys have right now. And in the draft, you guys definitely need to address a receiver, but you guys are gonna run the ball so much.
Oh yeah, with Arthur Smith,
so
ungodly amounts. We're gonna run the ball.
It really comes down to if George Pickens can truly be the one. I feel like
that's fair
for y'all because he obviously has the talent. He's had some like attitude problems with the Steelers we've seen in the past year.
He
but
does.
Like if he can really step up and be the one, then everything's gonna just fall into place because you still have Freiermuth and has your tight end who's been elite in the past game.
My king.
So and your defense is always gonna be stout. Like you have Najee, Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren can be out and fucking check down Merchant. So I mean, looking at that, if George Pickens can really step up and prove that he's the one, like he kind of has the attitude that he does, and saying he's the one mainly, is like, then the Steelers are going to be something because he has all the talent in the world to be one of these top end receivers. Like there's nothing that an AJ Brown has like physically that he doesn't in a way. I'm just comparing players. Like he has all the physicals and the speed and everything else like that. It's more so I feel like obviously quarterback play is huge. And also, like, just the mindset of now he's the one and seeing if he could, like, really step up.
100%.
Mainly. But, I mean, it's the Steelers, so you never know.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're kind of just betting on that our development of receivers has been good in the last few years and that we can get a receiver that'll be able to slot in. But, I mean, we've still got some cap, and there's still there's some decent names out there. So, I don't know. I think if we sign Tyler Boyd, that'd be big. I would be fully here for that.
Would I be crazy if I said Justin Fields ends up starting at some point?
No. I could see Justin Fields coming in halfway through the year.
Another sleeper name out there.
I love it.
Michael Thomas.
Slant boy.
Know how he is, but like he's talented when he's healthy.
You need 3 games played. There you go.
I was gonna say, can he stay healthy? Like
he's good when he's healthy. So that's the whole ordeal with him. Fields starting at some point in the season. I don't think it happens unless Russ gets hurt.
You don't think so? You think they're giving him a long leash?
I just don't see him playing that bad to where you're like, Fields is going to come in and do better.
I don't see him playing that good.
I think he's going to be just mid. And I think that's
exactly
all we
need.
The Steelers need.
That's all we need. He's going to be better than Pickett.
Like, yes, but like, what's the goal here?
I think he'll be Mason Rudolph level. And Mason Rudolph, if he played like that the whole year, we could have won. We might have beat the Bills.
Here's the thing. Here's what I think is the full ordeal with the Steelers. Like, you've always been able to run the ball. That's been fine. Your defense has always been stout. It's being efficient and effective in the passing game. You guys haven't had a quarterback since prime Big Ben that's been elite in the fucking passing game.
God.
So it's like looking at Russell Wilson. He's the best thrower of the football they've had since fucking Big Ben. So looking at it from that aspect, like Russell Wilson solves one of their biggest weaknesses for years, and he does that better than Fields. So I don't think there's a world where he comes in and you're like looking at Fields and like, as much as I'm a Justin Fields fan. As much as I would love to see it happen, I don't think Russell Wilson plays bad enough for Fields to get in there and like really. Fans will be calling for his name though, for sure.
I don't know. I think he could very, very easily throw a 2-interception, 3-interception game, and all of a sudden the fans are calling for it by week 4.
But he wasn't even doing that last year.
No, he wasn't. I think
I think the fans like the Wilson signing though. I think the fans love both the quarterbacks that we have in the room, and I don't think the fans have a short leash for Russ unless he goes back-to-back games of like multiple interceptions. But the way Arthur Smith plays football, I don't see how that happens. And the reason it happened for Desmond Ridder was Desmond Ridder just sucks. Like, Desmond Ridder just made bad reads. Like, I watched the Falcons games sometimes, and Desmond Ridder would just throw it to the defense, like straight to the, like he thought they were on his, I don't know. He just made bad reads. Like he was just bad.
Oh,
Desmond Ridder was just
we all know that Desmond Ridder is bad.
Yeah.
So
there ain't no doubt about that.
And Russ is so like, there's not a lot of games where I would watch Russ and just be like, what was that? Unless there was genuinely a bad play called.
And you're giving him more with the Steelers, though. I think he has more to work with than he did in Denver.
He definitely does.
Because even last year, like Jerry Jeudy was like.
Actually, does he though? Like weapons wise,
I'm gonna say he has Russell Wilson starting for the Steelers has an elite backfield, underrated backfield. Underrated backfield.
Underrated.
I think
underrated.
Yes, I think
it's
it's
crazy.
Top,
underrated backfield.
I think that backfield is top 12.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
I just think you have two different backs that are super. I think they're super versatile in their backfield, and I think whenever you need anything from Najee, he's probably going to give it to you. He's great in between the tackles. Like he's going to be
great though.
He is.
Listen,
he was top. He was top 3 in the league in yards after contact last year.
Najee's so
underrated.
I don't give a fuck about that stat.
Najee plays
so
like he's
underrated,
40, but he's not even 30.
Najee has had so sneaky. Najee has had 3 sneaky 1,000-yard seasons.
How?
Never gets talked about. It doesn't get talked about.
He's not a difference maker.
Is Najee the slowest back I've ever seen in my life? Maybe. But
that's what we got Jalen Warren for.
Now.
That's what they got Jalen Warren for.
Exactly. That's why we have Jalen.
I love Jalen Warren.
Jalen Warren runs so mad. Jalen Warren runs like Pacheco. And he's just shorter. He's just little. But he runs so angry.
You know.
I will say, like I said, though, Pickens is going to be the difference maker. He's supposed to be the difference maker. You saw what Russ and Sutton had with their connection in Denver. Pickens, you could have an argument that he's more talented than Sutton is as just a pure receiver. So, like, if he can just build that connection with Russ, especially in the end zone, like, Pickens can go up with fucking any corner in the league. And then that defense is going to always give either quarterback fucking chances to go out there and win the game. That's always been the deal. That's always
all we
the
have
Steelers
to do.
need to go down and score to win the game, and they never are able to do that. So, I don't know.
Last year, the
12.
Denver.
Maybe I'm just a hater. I don't know.
I think you're a hater.
I might just be a hater.
You like Connor for real, bro.
Like you're adding.
Did you guys fix your O-line?
We didn't. Our O-line wasn't bad last year.
All right.
It was rating wise, our O-line was not bad. We just don't have a center now because we didn't re-sign Mason Cole. But Mason Cole, it's fucking Mason Cole. We can go replace Mason Cole. That's fine. We'll probably draft one.
Just adding Patrick Queen to this already good top 5 to 10 defense is just going to be sick.
So now our defense is Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, who last year was really good as a rookie. Larry Ogunjobi, Highsmith, Cole Holcomb, or Elena Roberts, or Patrick. Well, Patrick Queen will be the one, so that's obviously there. But you're going to rotate in Holcomb and Elena Roberts. TJ Watt. That's our front 7. That's good. That's damn good. And then JPJ was a quiet lockdown corner last year. Nobody talked about his stats because nobody fucking threw at him. That boy was clamping motherfuckers. If you go look at his stats against the top 5 receivers last year that he was facing, that motherfucker was clamping people. Nobody cooked his ass. No one. And then you get Minka, and then you get, I don't know how, Deshaun Elliott, I didn't watch enough in the Dolphins to play. He's young. He's okay. I think he's a little short, but I'm excited to see him play. Do we have a number 2? No. Our number 2 corner is fucking Levi Wallace, who gets fucking 300 yards passing on him every damn year. So that one's got to change. But I'm excited. And then you get that defense, and they keep us in the game. And here's what we're gonna tell Russ: go make this 2-minute drive to win us the game. Every damn game. It's gonna be every game.
Here's another thing I'll say about both of the quarterbacks in a way. Like, both of these quarterbacks are going into situations, and I'm not going into the saying Sean Payton's a bad coach, but he obviously didn't like Russell Wilson or believed in him. And Justin Fields, I mean, they obviously didn't really believe in him in Chicago any of his years. Mike Tomlin being one of the best coaches in the league, I think he's going to do a great job in instilling confidence in both those quarterbacks, whoever plays and whatever. It's probably going to be Russ to start, but even if Justin Fields gets out there, I feel like he's going to make sure the game plan is structured enough and well enough for Justin Fields to succeed. Same with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And I also feel like what the game plan is right now for Fields is we got him for nothing. We got him for nothing for a reason. Nobody in the league's going to... Well, first, we're not going to pick up his 5th year. It's like, because he was a top 2 pick, it's like 20+ mil for his 5th year option. We're not picking that shit up. I think what the goal is, see how Russell does.
Team deal.
Exactly. We'll see how Russell does on this 1 year. We got him for a vet min, so we also got Russell for nothing. We'll see how Russ does. If Russ plays well and we feel like we should re-sign him for another vet min, we'll probably do that. If we want to go with Fields instead, though, we hope that we can sign him to a 2-year deal for cheap. And we'll start him next year.
This is one of the biggest W's for just in the NFL, because you got 2 quarterbacks for nothing that are better than the 2 quarterbacks you already had.
Exactly. We swapped our bums for nothing
good quarterbacks
to get 2 guys that could be better, could be something.
I think Russell Wilson is the best quarterback you've had in a minute.
Since Ben, yeah.
Yeah.
He's more, Ben. I think he's going to be I think if you're looking at like the back half of Ben's career, like Ben got memed a lot because he wasn't mobile anymore, but he still could throw. I think you're getting a better version of back half Ben, because Russ can move the pocket and Russ can still throw the deep ball like we need him to. I think we're going to get a better version of what Ben was, and Ben was mid, but still was getting us to the playoffs. So hopefully Russ can push us over that hump a little bit. And hopefully Arthur Smith can average more than 100 yards a damn game of offense. That's the goal. Nick, let's not act like the whole NFL is beat Mahomes right now. Let's not act like that.
What?
Let's not act like the whole NFL, like...
The Steelers are hoping for a successful year.
I don't, like, saying Russ is the best quarterback since Big Ben isn't saying much. Because guess what? I think Justin Fields is also the best quarterback they've had since Big Ben.
He is.
So, that's not saying shit.
Wasn't that good?
I think y'all should just go with Fields now.
You think?
I think so.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think you give Fields time.
I think
Russ should have the shortest leash ever.
He might.
Like one game, really buddy. Might. You get one game of throwing 3 interceptions and you're gone.
I mean, he might.
2 games in a row of throwing 2 interceptions, you're not getting another chance.
I mean, both these quarterbacks might have short leashes. We got them for nothing.
Yeah, like why would you give Russ a short leash though?
Because like we just paid these quarterbacks, and now we have all this talent on the defensive side. Like y'all signed Patrick Queen, y'all are going all in.
Oh, we're winning now.
If I'm the Steelers, my starting quarterback for my first game is Russell Wilson.
Oh, it is no matter what. I think we've already said that.
Yeah, but that's fine.
And like I said, I don't, unless Russell Wilson I'll give him one game, because every quarterback has that one game where like shit just ain't going right. But like if it snowballs into a point where like they're just losing back-to-back games, like I think Russell Wilson is good enough to give you like on average like 175 to 225 yards a game.
Couple tutties.
Maybe a tutty that here and there. Najee, Jalen Warren get one in, and your defense makes the plays. Like your defense has been making plays. Like the Steelers with the bad quarterback play have been a borderline wildcard team the past fucking how many years? Like they're always roaming around 7 to 10 wins every single year. Like, and it's mainly because of the defense. If your offense is just a little better, I'll say this: if you have Russell Wilson in that wildcard game against the Bills, they beat the Bills.
That's what I'm saying.
They beat the Bills.
That's what Russell gives us that edge because we lost. Okay, we lost to the Bills on garbage time. Like that score looks worse than it actually was. We were in that game until like the fourth quarter, and then we kind of fell apart. And I think a lot of it was injuries, and a lot of it was just like we're playing from behind. You kind of have to send everything like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Russ, like our defense kept us in that game, and I think Russ pushes us over that edge. Russ doesn't give us a chance, I don't think, to win this division because I still think the Ravens are just kind of leaps and bounds above everyone.
It's also a very hard division.
And we're also in probably the toughest division in football right now.
Like, y'all sent 3 last year and could have sent 4.
Yeah.
With damn near, because the Bengals lost their last 2.
But I think this gives us the best chance to fight in that division. And last year, we still, like, the Bengals are kind of in... I don't know what they're doing. I want to know what the Bengals want to try to do right now. Because T. Higgins is on the market. You get rid of Joe Mixon. Tyler Boyd's on the market. You don't have a defense.
You have one guy on your defense.
You got one. Yeah. Like, and you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Like, I just want to know what their plan is right now. Because they have to know they're in the toughest division in football. The Steelers are making moves. The Browns are making moves. The Ravens don't need to make moves. They're just re-signing people. So where do you want to go from here? They just got Derrick Henry, actually. Never mind. The Ravens are making moves. They just got Derrick Henry to add to the best rush offense in the league. And so this is where it scares me as the Bengals. Yes, you have Joe Burrow. We all know the talent that he has. We all know the talent Jamar Chase has. But the teams around them are also improving. And if Joe Burrow can't stay healthy, you're not going to improve. If Joe Burrow goes out again, you're fucked.
See, my mindset towards it is they're going to have to start really building through the draft. That Joe Burrow contract's hitting.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay Jamar Chase, which I understand giving T. Higgins up, getting him traded or doing whatever you want to do. Franchise tagging him is the perfect option. It gives you one more year.
It was.
To kind of get shit going. And I feel like if he would have been traded, it would have happened by now. And I haven't really heard of too much of a crazy market.
I haven't either. I haven't seen a lot of news on teams trying to go for him. So
the Joe Mixon one was just, I feel like, clearing up cap. I think they're really going to start having to hit through the draft, and I think this is going to be a very important year for them because I'm not too shaken and worried about the Browns until I see Deshaun Watson really out there hooping consistently. So I'm not too really worried about them. I think the Bengals can be better than them.
That's fair.
Even with all the talent that the Browns have, I think they can be better than the Steelers because I still have questions about the Steelers and some of their weapons.
Yeah.
So it's really just them and the Ravens. I feel like in their mindset, they have the same mindset that it's us and the Ravens in this division. We know we respect Pittsburgh. The Browns are up and down depending on who their quarterback is and who's healthy and on that roster. Even though they were good last year, I think it's going to be a whole culture change in general, going from Flacco, somebody who was loved, to Deshaun Watson, who people have mixed feelings about. So I think that whole deal is going to really play a factor into kind of what their mindset is. Because they could easily bring back T. Higgins, and then if you just think about, if they had a healthy Joe Burrow, they probably make the playoffs.
They're also going to have the easiest schedule out of any of those teams.
Yeah, because they finished last in the division. So, I mean, it's definitely going to help. And especially, like, it just sucks because I feel like we're going to go through it in our division as well.
Yeah.
The Bengals can't afford to start out, like, 1-3.
They did. They've done it the last 2 years.
And
they start out so slow.
If they can just start out a little bit better, like they're comfortably in that playoff race with how up and down the AFC is. The AFC has a ton of good teams and a bunch of talented teams, but some teams are just going to have to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Like with all those teams, somebody's just going to have to lose. So like, I think they could easily be in the mix for wild card.
2 through 4 in the North is going to be up for grabs the whole entire year. And I think the Ravens, I haven't looked at their schedule. Honestly, that whole division might be up for grabs just because of how hard in-division play is in the North. I mean, the Ravens are going to have the toughest schedule as well coming into the year.
The Steelers and Browns always play the Ravens well anyways.
Like, for some reason, Lamar just can't beat the Steelers. So it'll be interesting. I don't think the Steelers on paper should win the division, but
it could anything could happen.
Really,
honestly,
anyone in the North could win it right now.
Nobody even thought the Texans or the Colts, and they both finished better than the Jags.
Exactly, and that's the thing is like, fuck the North. The North this year, the AFC North really could send all 4. to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I don't think you want to play any of those teams in the wild card.
No, if Nick might be a hater on this, but I do believe in players having confidence just throughout all sports. And I think Mike Tomlin is going to do wonders restoring confidence to Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Because it's not like Russell Wilson has gotten majorly hurt. It's just his confidence has been so much killed in the past couple of years. Some due to him. I'm not saying he's not to blame. But it's also like a lot to coaching.
But Denver also hated him.
Yeah, so
Denver didn't want it. Like, after that first year in Denver didn't want him. They wanted him out.
No. Yeah, not at all.
So, I think Russ is happy to start over. I think Russ just wants the opportunity to play. I don't think Russ is going to hold anything back. He's got nothing to hold back. He's making 40 mil, so he don't give a fuck. He just wants to go and win and prove that he can still hoop. So, I'm excited. This is the first time on the pod they're going to hear me be happy with the Steelers. Like, man, y'all see me in shambles this whole year. Fuck. But, like, this is the one time, like, in a long time I've kind of had some upside for this team. I mean, I didn't know what to expect with Kenny. I wanted us to be good. Obviously, that didn't work out. Fuck, we traded him to the fucking Eagles for nothing. I mean, we got him for a third. I'll take that. Like, Omar Khan has kind of really came in and shaped and changed the culture of this team. And it just gets me. I'm excited to see what happens and where we go. This could be the first year that like mid works out. Like the whole AFC North in a sense could be considered mid off record. I mean, the Ravens obviously are very good, but in division, the whole division could just split. Like it's going to be up for grabs.
You're
all going to be beating up on each other.
Yeah, it will be the best division in football team wise. Like, because any four of those teams could be the best team in a division anywhere else in the NFL.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight, and it makes me nervous, but it makes me excited to see where this team will go. I have my doubts about Arthur Smith, but the way our team is set up works perfectly for him. So I get why we brought him in. We have a very good duo in the backfield. We have a good offensive line.
Some people ain't meant to be a head coach
here than Atlanta.
He does. I think Atlanta has a lot of big play weapons
that he just doesn't know.
He ain't like that.
He wants to use it more as like a team.
Arthur Smith said, we drafted Bijan Robinson. He's a big play factor. We ain't using his ass. Tyler Algier, get the fuck in there. Like you're our fucking handed off 15 times a game back. Bijan will come in and split carries because Bijan's the guy who's gonna juke you out your fucking shoes and he'll get 40 yards on a screenplay. But Tyler Algier, he getting the fucking work. So we have that with Najee.
Go be free.
Najee attempts
will be free at 15.5.
His shit gonna be at 19.5 by the end of the year. God damn it! Like, it's gonna be so fucking high.
Then it's gonna be Jalen Warren receptions.
I think you're gonna see Russ go out there, 175, 200 yards a game. He's gonna be able to throw a touchdown, unlike Kenny Pickett. Najee gonna be running the ball like a motherfucker, and our defense is just gonna have to be, holding people to 13 points a game, and Russ, we're just going to have to go win on field goals. Like, it's going to be gritty. It's going to be gross. Our games are going to be gross. Ain't shit going to be flashy. But we'll be there. We'll be in them.
Kind of flipping the script to the Bears, who have been very active getting Keenan Allen. With this kind of a two-part thing, because I want to talk about Keenan Allen to the Bears, and I want to talk about what the Chargers are doing in their offseason. We can kind of talk about Keenan Allen to the Bears first. And Keenan Allen was just at Caleb Williams' pro day.
Oh.
So, and I mean, it's expected that the Bears are going to select Caleb Williams now, especially with no Justin Fields. I think those talks were not even real to begin with. But what do you guys think of the Bears' talent?
Where's Connor when we need him? God.
Like there shouldn't be any more. We don't have this and that with this Bears team.
No more excuses.
There shouldn't be any more excuses. You
better win the North or be close to it.
You think so?
You better.
You think next year? So
no, they don't have to. Next year they don't have to be like.
2 years.
Better. They should be in contention for it.
So you think they're?
You think Caleb Williams coming in like that?
I think everyone's expecting him to.
I don't think I am.
I don't think Eberflus is the right coach for him.
But neither do I.
I don't. I think that it's going to be the Lions winning it, and the next 3
maybe not contend,
is a drop
off,
but they're gonna be fighting for a wild card spot. I think they will fight for a wild card spot.
Yeah, fight for a wild card
spot.
But
I think you're gonna see Caleb Williams come out and struggle. I think Caleb Williams is easily the most talented quarterback in this draft. I think the drop off for me in talent is pretty big after him. But I think you're gonna watch him come in, and it's gonna be just. I don't think he's gonna have a CJ Stroud year. I just don't. A
CJ Stroud year is so out of the realm because no other quarterback has had that in past years. It's either you come out and you're shit right away, and then people have questions, or you come out and sit a couple of years, and then you get the spot like Jordan Love did. Nobody comes out like CJ Stroud and just takes a team to the playoffs in their first year after being one of the worst teams in the league.
Have the Bears made any moves to fix their O-line?
I don't know. I'm more so their defense. I think they're going to start out slower a little bit, kind of like what they did this year, but ramp up towards the end of the year.
They
were solid towards the end of the year.
They signed one O-line. I don't know his name. I've never heard of this guy.
The Keenan Allen trade it's just weird. It messes with the timeline a little bit. He's a 31-year-old wide receiver on an expiring contract next year. Why are we going to get him if we're not?
Could just be to try to
at least maybe just try to get him going, I guess. But
no, I think they made the move because they think they will compete.
Yeah,
but I don't think. I think they are holding their. I think they think they're going to be way more in contention than I do. Let me rephrase that. Do I think the Bears could have a winning year this year? Yes. Is that a win for them? Yes. Do I think it's 9-8, 10-7? Yes. Do I think they'll go into the first round as a threat? No.
No.
Not at all.
It depends. It really depends on that defense because here's my mindset on getting Keenan Allen for what they got him for. Well, I love the move. He's older. He might not fit the timeline, but it's still Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's still top whatever receiver in the league. You pair him up with DJ Moore. You have Swift in your backfield. Now that second top 10 pick that you have outside of drafting Caleb Williams at 1, you can use on really your O-line, get another edge. That pick can be versatile, or you could be smarter about it, in my opinion, trade back, get more assets, stockpile all these assets to go make a move later on in the future of Caleb Williams' era in Chicago.
Well, because now they don't got to focus
gives you more time to not draft that receiver after Marvin Harrison, whoever was available. That was the mock draft for the Bears.
Probably Nate.
Keenan Allen makes it so you don't have to draft him, and he's in the last year of his deal.
I don't hate that. I
also
think. No, go ahead, Nick.
I was thinking maybe if we're going after Keenan Allen, we're going after this guy on an expiring contract. Why don't we just go after a young guy, T. Higgins? Similar build.
Because
younger.
I don't know if they want to.
Or do you think they don't want to maybe just put that much money into multiple guys right now?
I don't think they want to.
I
think they want to kind of stretch
leave it open a little
cap
bit.
Space they have over the next couple of years. But I also think they want to be competitive, have enough talent on their roster to where if Caleb Williams does come in and is not exactly like CJ Stroud, but okay, he's for real. He's everything he said he was. Okay, we have the talent to go out and compete right now if we need to.
100%.
But I still don't know if Eberflus is.
I don't know if Eberflus is the guy.
I think he's great defensively. I think this defense is going to be pretty fucking stout next year.
Who's their OC?
I don't know if they've even brought one in. I don't know.
Shane Waldron.
Was that in system?
That's a Connor-ass question.
Shane Waldron.
Was he their QB coach or something last year?
He was for the last 3 years, he was the Seahawks offensive coordinator.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Year, okay, I didn't hear about that. I think the goal for the Bears is they had the assets currently to go and get an older guy in Keenan Allen. He's on an expiring contract. That's fine. They had the cap. They're not worried about that.
Was it a fourth?
Yeah. It was pretty cheap.
Yeah. It was a fourth.
Third?
Fourth or third or
I'll
something
look,
like that.
I don't know. Either way. But I think what they're trying to do is this gives them a threat to contend in the North now. Like you said, if Caleb Williams comes out and it's him. He's got the weapons, doesn't really have the O-line yet, but it means they don't have to focus receiver anymore in that first round, so they're no longer going to go get Neighbors. If they're smart, they probably trade back a little bit because this class for linemen isn't the strongest, but there's a lot that can go in the later first that people are looking at. Unless they want to take, I mean, if they take the best lineman available, I'm pretty sure there's a stud. I think there's one stud in this draft.
Well, you could if Joe Alt falls to you, I think that's just the perfect person.
Yeah,
right there to bulk your O line up. Because now it just opens up their whole world and possibilities for the
Joe
draft.
Alt is projected 6th. After that, there's another guy. Vashanu is a tackle. But after that, you're starting to push middle of the pack. So, like, they could trade with the Raiders for the 12th and go get Fuaga. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's the Oregon State guy. So there's options for them to move around if they want to. And get better and get more assets for the future again. But their defense is good. They have a weapon and if they can get Allen on if let's say Allen is willing to sign cheap next year again, and they can get him on a 1 or 2 year. I don't see why they wouldn't. If he performs this year well, I don't see why you wouldn't.
I don't see a world where he doesn't. I mean, him, DJ Moore.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't see a world where he doesn't, but I don't think he would do that. I would think he would be going for one last payday.
I don't think he does that either because he didn't want to take a pay cut from the Chargers with Justin Herbert as your quarterback.
Yeah.
And if he didn't want to do that with that whole new regime they're building, I doubt he's going to want to do it with the Bears. Even if it would take like some crazy shit for that season, even if I still think he's a good enough receiver to go get a bag from some team that desperately.
But is he walking into the Bears as the assumption he's the one right now? I mean, he was the given one on LA.
You think he's the one? I think he's better than DJ Moore.
I think Keenan Allen. Yeah.
I just think he's somebody. No
offense to DJ Moore at all. Yeah. DJ Moore's a fucking dog.
My king.
You now have two guys that can beat one-on-one coverage, and not just DJ Moore. Because there was gonna be a lot of times where if they did get Neighbors or whatever, the young receivers, if they pan out or they don't. We saw what happened with Quentin Johnson. It's still early in his career, but it would have just been DJ Moore and Caleb Williams. Getting a veteran receiver, I think, does benefit them. But so they had the Bears have the 9th pick or the 8th pick?
9th.
Okay. I kind of have like a small kind of prediction just where I see shit trending because I'm a Vikings fan. And like with us having 2 first-round picks, I see where kind of the draft is trending. And McCarthy's been the hot name that everybody's trying to take. I could see the Bears getting a phone call with everything falling into place where they're like, we're trading back because somebody wants to trade up and take McCarthy before the Vikings do at 11.
I can see it. For sure.
Or because outside of the top 3, 4 through 10 don't need quarterbacks.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of teams like in that 11 to 15 area that do.
That could.
There's so many
teams.
Like
you can see the Raiders trying to trade up over 100%. Us to try to leapfrog the Vikings because the Vikings are the first team outside of the top 10 that need a quarterback. And it's not even a guarantee that they're going to be able to trade up with anybody. So I could see a team calling the Bears to try to leapfrog a lot of these teams in the early teens to try to go get a quarterback.
The Bears do need somebody.
Yeah,
they do need
an
edge.
They're going to end up getting a bag.
They could take Turner at 9.
I could also see that.
So they have options. I'm intrigued to see if the Bears are smart for once. I am very intrigued to see what they want to do or how they handle this because there's been a lot of years recently they handle things the wrong way and they don't work out. So,
but it all led to this moment where you have the best opportunity. Where
this
you can take
this is what now. Did they cook this? Maybe. Now, did it mean they had to be dog shit? Yes. Shit.
The Panthers cooked this for them.
You're right. The Panthers took Bryce Young, and then we're still the worst team in the league. So let's see where we go. I'm intrigued to see, can the Bears do something good? Challenge.
Kind of flipping it to the Chargers side. The Chargers have completely gutted out that entire offense. They don't have a single. Quentin Johnson's their number 1.
W.
Basically receiver. Their defense still got Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. They both took pay cuts, and if they didn't, I assume they would have been traded just like Keenan Allen was. But I understand because they needed to get out of that cap situation. I'm pretty sure they have around 25 to 30 mil now in cap space. Not saying there's a bunch of top end talent that they can go get right now, but there's definitely serviceable guys where you can have kind of a buffer year while you try to develop young talent.
Like yeah, I mean, that's definitely what they're doing.
Like you have Justin Herbert, you have one of the best throwing quarterbacks like in the league.
So Zeke to the Chargers on a cheap deal.
I like what they're doing, but like I think Bosa and Mack might be the problem.
You think?
I think like not like they're bad players or anything. I just don't think they're living up to these contracts that they have. Like they're hurt.
Yeah, Bosa can't stay healthy.
Bosa just cannot stay healthy. Khalil Mack was healthy this year. Got that 6-sack game, and then like I feel like I just didn't hear about him again.
Because I was gonna bring that up. I was like, if there was anybody to move, I feel like it would have been Khalil Mack over Keenan Allen. But then I hear that Keenan Allen didn't want to take the pay cut, and then I'm like, okay, whatever. But like, you're getting Harbaugh, defensive mind. You give him two elite, however you want to describe them, weapons on the defensive side of the football.
He's got Derwin James
still need to work
too.
on the secondary. Like, you need to get weapons on offense. They brought in. No, that was the Bengals. They brought in Zach Moss. I don't know if they've even brought in a running back yet. They have not brought in
a backup running back yet.
So
they're projected to draft Malik Neighbors currently,
which they need to. And this is a spot where it's just like
I would have definitely rather have kept Mike Williams than Khalil Mack. You know,
it's also like. It sucks because if Mike Williams was just a tad healthier, if he could just like coming off of an ACL, I understand getting rid of him.
I don't hate it though because the receiver room for the Chargers has always been incredibly deep. Like,
and they've always had that nasty 3 or 4 guy.
And they keep drafting them.
Who was it?
Josh Palmer is a dog.
Yeah, Josh Palmer. Oh my!
He is a dog.
Go back even farther. Go back to the guy that went to the Raiders, Terrence something. I can't remember his last name.
Taron. I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
He was a dog too.
He was their number 3.
Yes.
And he was a fucking dog. Went to the Raiders, cashed out, turned into a nobody right away.
Dog shit. But that receiver room is deep. So you get rid of guys that can't stay healthy. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. I don't hate it. You have Quentin Johnston as the one. You know Josh Palmer can go and perform if he needs to. He performed with fucking Easton Stick, bro. I mean, fuck. Like, if you can't perform with Justin Herbert, come on.
If Justin Herbert's healthy, this offense, I have no problems with whoever they get in the draft with this offense.
Same.
Because it's just like you have a quarterback that is able to elevate the talent of his receivers.
Yes.
Like, this is somebody where if I'm the Chargers, I'm looking at who's left. I'm getting a receiver in the draft, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, I need me somebody who I can trust, who has been. I'm going and getting like a Tyler Boyd.
Who was their tight end? They just made a tight end move, didn't they?
Well, they lost.
Or they lost Everett.
They lost Everett to the Bears.
Oh.
Brock Bowers is another name that was always mocked to the Chargers.
That'd be fire.
I mean, you add Brock Bowers, who does everything at the tight end position.
If they get Boyd, go for Bowers. But if you ain't getting Boyd, you got to take Neighbors.
God, if they were just one,
they should like. I don't think Boyd is that good.
If they were one, I think he's just so serviceable.
Boyd is so serviceable.
He's just always
he's so serviceable.
Reliable.
But he was always he's had Jamar Chase and fucking T. Higgins taking heat off of him.
Yeah, but
he's always benefited.
He's a solid slot.
He's a solid slot. I just don't think he'd be as like I don't think you have to base your whole offseason off of getting Tyler Boyd.
I think
you can still take Brock Bowers. I think
the Chargers are very much in on Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I'm just saying Tyler Boyd doesn't change my outlook for the future on this team.
I think he would be a placeholder.
He shouldn't change my draft pick.
I think if they got Boyd, I think the only reason they would go and sign Boyd or make a move for Higgins would be to go and get of Bowers and then hope that they're decent enough or bad enough to then have another draft pick to get a receiver next year or a draft. Yeah. Like, because you think that
Johnson just
if they
out.
think Bowers is that generational in a sense, like if you think Bowers is that good, then you go and get someone like a Boyd and you just kind of, you're like, okay, fuck it. Like, we got to take Bowers, but we need another receiver, but we're going to have to just kind of gamble on it for next year, in a sense.
I hate to say it like this, but like, you're seeing the Mahomes, Travis Kelce is winning Super Bowls. Like, why not in a year where you have a generational tight end prospect, pair him with Justin Herbert? Like, why not do that?
Are they going to have the coaching, though, that makes them thrive? Like, I don't think Harbaugh is going to be it.
I don't know. I think Harbaugh's going to be good.
I don't like Harbaugh.
I think he'll be all right.
I don't like Jim Harbaugh.
I don't think he's going to be
Is this Jim or John?
Travesty. This is Jim.
I don't like Jim, bro. Hasn't he been in the NFL before?
Yeah,
Didn't
he's
he
a Niners coach. He's made it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he's still left.
I personally, if I'm the Chargers at the 5th pick,
made it to a Super Bowl, man.
If I'm the Chargers at the 5th pick, I'm probably trading back and trying to fleece a team. Like,
I don't know where is Bowers projected though.
You could think about it like this. The Vikings have 2 first-round picks. They have 11 and 23, I believe.
Is that where the Vikings trade up to?
If I'm just looking at it from the Chargers' perspective, and I can get 11 and 23 and get 2 positions of need in the first round compared to 1, I'm doing that. Especially when Brock Bowers can fall to you at 11, and you can go pick up a receiver at 23.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, Vikings, you can have the 5th pick. Go ahead and take JJ McCarthy. We're going to Brock Bowers at 11, who's going to slide there anyways, because none of the teams are really looking at a tight end that has a position of need like that. And then at 23, you just draft best available, which could be an edge, it could be a corner, it could be a defense, or it could be a running, like it could be anything.
Be a receiver, it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. I think that's the route they should go, because I, as a Vikings fan, know how desperate and big this offseason has been for the Vikings, and them being the main team that's been linked to trading up. They've had in my opinion, the Vikings have had a perfect offseason. It doesn't mean shit if you can't trade up and get the guy you want.
It's fair.
Then you're just like, okay, we're going to go hope we can get Bo Nix or Penix at some point and not get fucking slid on over there later in the draft. And then if we don't get any of them, then you're like, fuck, we're at Sam Darnold. So it seems like they're desperate to be aggressive, to trade up, to get the guy they want.
Oh my God.
And I feel like 5 is as far as they're going to go, because I feel like the Cardinals were like, all right, we're just going to take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, we're just going to take
CBS thinks you guys trade to the 3 pick and get May.
I don't
like that.
understand.
I don't
the
like
amount
that.
of assets you have to give up. You're talking both your first this year and probably
like
your
first
next year. Yeah, first or second year.
It's not worth it.
So I just think the Chargers are the perfect spot, because if everything I'm seeing, Chargers should trade back, pick up 2 firsts, go draft those position of needs. And then that's saying like you can't go get a later 3rd or whatever. I mean, with how desperate teams are to get their franchise quarterback, with the Vikings in their situation, you never know. I think 2 firsts for that 5th would be a decent little swap if it was just those picks involved, just because it's 2 teams. It's a win-win for both teams. That's where I would go if I was the Chargers.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
I think for me, the biggest thing with the Chargers was I was just confused, because you just signed Bosa to a massive deal. Khalil Mack isn't young. We'll go with that.
He's old as shit.
Derwin James either needs re-signed or also re-signed to a big deal a few years ago. You got a young guy in Rashawn Slater, probably one of the best young tackles in the league. And like, in reality, you looked at that roster and it was very, very talented. Yes, you didn't have a lot of cap space, but did you need to make a lot of moves, or was it coaching? And that's where I was confused. And now it almost feels like they're going into full-on. It feels like they're going into full-on rebuild mode, which I don't understand why you'd want to go and do when.
I'm completely okay with this.
I am too,
because I honestly
would trade both. I would trade Khalil Mack too if I could.
I think there was an underlying problem with the Chargers, and I don't think it was just a few tweaks kind of thing. Like, they had a problem where they just couldn't get shit done.
They couldn't win.
To get it done.
They just couldn't win.
It's a
culture.
It's a whole culture.
It was a 100% culture thing.
Fuck Staley.
And fuck Staley.
I'm a Staley
for
hater.
Sure. It was time to switch it out. I'm okay with this buffer year. Dude, the AFC is insane. Like, if you don't go all in and have a crazy roster, you're not going to have a chance anyway.
And they had no cap, so I get it.
You have no cap. Like, let's fix these issues. Get these bad contracts out of house. But that's why I'm just kind of confused.
But
that's why they didn't just go all in on that and get Bosa and Mack out. Yeah.
Get rid of that. Because you're good. They have to
sense.
re-sign Herbert, and he's going to want a bag, and he probably deserves a bag, even though he hasn't put up the stats. I mean,
didn't he already resign?
You don't.
He?
Yeah, he's already on his extendo because he was the highest paid QB in the league before Burrow.
What did they sign him to? Holy fuck, you're right.
5-year, $262.
So he's already on the extendo. So you have him locked up, and you're not getting rid of Justin Herbert by any means.
When did he do that? Am I stupid? July. Oh, that's why. It was this summer or last summer.
Yeah.
I just messed up.
I love what they're. I just think when you're looking at it, you're looking at all the AFC and stuff. You got the Texans, Colts coming up.
I get it. I don't hate. You know what? Now that I know Justin Herbert re-signed, I like it. I thought that I'd missed the signing last year, or I forgot about it. So that's on me. So now that I realize that, I don't hate what they're doing. Clean house, young talent.
So there was there was just something wrong with the roster.
I get it.
They couldn't get it done.
You gotta think Harbaugh probably had the conversation before he even took the job with Herbert. Like, hey, it's gonna take a year or two to get where we want to get to because
but just trust.
I think Herbert's fine with that. He knows, like, what is he, 25?
Herbert, bro, he knows he got a lot of time, a lot of money to make.
He don't care.
I think Herbert's completely.
He's 26. I think that
he's like, as long as you keep me healthy, Jim.
I think now I'm fine. I think now that you're getting out of the Staley aspect and you're kind of cleaning house to not be as big as contention, it takes pressure off of him. I think that's another big thing that's kind of been hurting him is like he came into the league with Allen and all these people, and people are like, oh, well, Herbert's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback in the league and all this crap. And like, do I think he has the talent? 100%. But now that he's not going to have as many weapons, I feel like this takes pressure off him to have to go out there and throw 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns a year, like,
and make the playoffs
and
beat Patrick Mahomes.
Literally. So now he can go out there and kind of just go and ball.
Yeah,
and I hope he does. I love him. I love my Oregon Ducks, so I got to root for him. But fuck,
I'm a big Justin Herbert fan. I never got bought into the social media quarterback aspect of it because I don't think people understand how big coaching plays into the NFL. Like, when you have a team, like, I understand.
Got Anthony Lynn and Brandon Staley as his coaches. Like, what are we talking about?
I just find it hard to believe people don't understand. I understand how good Patrick Mahomes is and how good the Chiefs are, but like offensively, it's so scheme and based and coaching based and building their players up compared to like them just having talent. Like, that Chiefs offense wasn't the most talented team in the world last year, and they won a Super Bowl back to back. So like looking at it like that, and I just talked about Mike Tomlin, like building up the confidence of his players. Like, that's why Mike Tomlin is such a great coach, and people want to go play for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Like, coaches that instill confidence are always going to be head and shoulders for me above the field of coaches in the league. Like, people don't understand how big of a fact coaching plays into everything that goes on in the NFL. Like,
I'm Sean Payton going into Denver and saying, "Hey, Russell Wilson, fuck you, I hate you." I think that was good for him. I think that probably made it a lot worse. You got to build confidence with your guys. Like, people love Jim Harbaugh is. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be clutch for this team because just having a coach, this is a good coach who instills confidence in his guys. Like, I don't know.
I'm a Harbaugh hater, but I think he'll be good for the Chargers. I just don't like the Harbaughs. I don't like either of them, but
we can kind of
hop into Harbaugh, king of no adapting.
Yes.
Kind of hop into some of the other signings. Mike Williams from the Chargers to the Jets, 1 year, $15 million. I believe that's what it was.
Love it.
I believe that was just the $15 million.
Fuck it. Jets go all in. Fuck it.
You have to. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers. That team, though, now that if they're healthy, I might take them to win the East. Fuck.
Yeah.
So you have them. Bills.
Like, the Bills are cleaning house. Their defense is in shambles right now.
I think this is a big buffer year for the Bills. I do.
They just let go of Poyer and Trey White.
You can see the Bills have a top 10 to 15 pick. and miss out in the playoffs just because of how
100%.
talented. Like they had to win like 6-7 straight and then go on the road and beat Miami to win the division. Like, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, like, because it could, because I'm not the hugest believer in Miami, because they also have to clean house on defense because they're so much over the fucking cap. But like, looking at that, like, if you just have a healthy Aaron Rodgers and you give him some fucking weapons, I mean, and that defense, like
Stout.
Like, you're giving him Breece Hall, Mike Williams, if he stays healthy, Garrett Wilson, that defense who was stout as fuck last year, and the Jets were in a lot of fucking games with just Zach Wilson last year. O-line still, like, needs to be addressed, but they have a top 10 pick. They'll probably address it in the draft. Or, fuck, might as well go pair Brock Bowers and Aaron Rodgers up, go give him another fucking weapon. Like, you give Aaron Rodgers weapons.
Aaron Rodgers, how many weapons do you need? Oh my god.
He wants them all. And Alan Lazard's still there.
They're trying to trade him.
Really?
Randall Cobb?
I haven't seen that.
Cobb? Goddamn.
Listen, I was high on the Jets last year.
I'm high on him again.
Listen, everybody in the world got goosebumps when Aaron Rodgers brought that flag out. Aaron Rodgers jogged on that field and everybody got goosebumps.
It was the first highlight of the season. It was the best one.
I was sitting there, I was like, he ran out with that flag. I was like,
wow.
I was like, wow.
America.
Chiefs Jets
America.
AFC Championship game for real. Like, it's going to be wild.
I was so happy.
Like, they're going to win the division.
I was so happy when he ran out of that tunnel.
Oh my god. I was just...
But any team with a healthy Aaron Rodgers and these weapons,
it's going to be
in
contention.
Watch
They're
out.
going to
be. If he stays healthy,
the Bills are getting third in the division. That's my take.
Them and the Dolphins.
They might get fourth.
Second, it's really up for grabs.
Hold on. No, we're not going to act like the Patriots are going to fucking win games.
Oh, you're right. You're right. They don't have Pro Bowler Mac Jones anymore. My bad. They don't have Pro Bowler Mac Jones anymore.
We're not going to act like the Patriots are out here winning games.
He's a Jaguar.
He's a Jag.
The Patriots have Jacoby Brissett right now. All right? God. That's who we're rocking with.
If I was going into the year with what I see the Bills, they still have a Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs connection. Like,
no, Diggs wants out.
I gotta see what they do. Yeah, I gotta see what they do in the draft. And me personally, if I'm looking at it, if I'm making some hard conversations, if I'm the Bills, and I'm like, I could trade Stephon Diggs for like a second or a third, possibly.
To Dallas.
Like,
he's not.
I'm looking at my caps. If I'm looking at my cap situation, has a Buffalo Bills like fan and just somebody who looks at the team, and I'm like, I'm just like we talked about with Herbert. I'm taking the buffer year to be better the year after.
Yep.
Yeah.
To be twice as good the year
Gabe
after.
Davis.
Like, if I could trade Stephon Diggs for like a second,
man.
Like,
I would be completely fine with getting Stephon Diggs out of there.
Just to see what Nick would say when I said they lost Gabe Davis.
Lost Gabe Davis. Thank God they got rid of Gabe Davis.
His bum ass, his non-existent ass. God damn it!
Another trading Stephon Diggs, not the worst. Also, maybe not the best idea. I don't know. It's like we saw them work. He was not having a good connection with them late in the season.
Oh, he was pissed.
We saw them
he
winning
was pissed
anyways.
off.
So, like,
and they just got rid of Trey White. They got rid of Jordan Poyer. I mean, they're in a weird situation. And
Von Miller owns.
And you want to know why the fucking Cowboys won't go get Diggs though? Because Jerry Jones is sleeping. Wake him up.
If I'm the
Cowboys, I'm trading for Stephon Diggs.
If I hate to play like fantasy in the realm of this because I just don't think it's gonna happen, but like I'm giving the Bills a second and a third for Diggs.
Yeah,
like Stephon Diggs and CD.
Bring him back.
Diggs on a team with his cousin, his brother.
No, we ain't got no QB. We got no QB.
Drake May.
Oh,
Jane Daniels.
It's gonna be JJ McCarthy.
No.
I'm gonna be on the cruise. I'm gonna be on the cruise, and it's gonna be JJ McCarthy. And I'm gonna look at my dad in disgust and be like,
the future.
Zach Wilson. The next coming of Zach Wilson.
Fuck. No, Sam Darnold got y'all.
Listen, I said it last pod. I was like, with our offense and our weapons, there gonna be a 3 to 4 week span in the middle of the season when people are sleeping. When the Vikings aren't that competitive, he putting up like 250, like 2 tuds, no interceptions. And then you go have that one game on primetime against Detroit on a Sunday.
3 rushing touchdowns. Let's go.
pick, and the game's over. Just like it was against Chicago this year and the Packers. But another signing was Hollywood Brown to the Chiefs. Them getting another weapon. I mean, they've done it with barely any weapons on that offense, and just Travis Kelce, Pacheco, and Rashee Rice. So you add him to that. I mean,
I kind of fuck with it.
I do, because he's on the younger side.
I
too.
love Hollywood Brown, so I can't even hate on it.
Hollywood was always on a team where it felt like he was the only guy there. Like he was on the Ravens, and it was only him. That was before Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews wasn't a person yet.
Yeah,
and it was just Hollywood Brown. Sent him to the Cardinals. It's just Hollywood Brown. That was right after D-Hop left.
Yeah.
Just Hollywood Brown.
Now he's got the best
This will be
QB
the first time he's
slinging
going to
him
have
the
Rashee
rock.
Rice. He's going to have Travis Kelce. I kind of like it.
He's just going to be able to just, all right. Because I feel like not having that much pressure on a player like who's not really like the guy, but gets pushed into that realm. Kind of like how I feel like George Pickens is going to be pushed in, to where he might not be that guy yet because he's so young, but he's going to be forced into that role because of their talent and their projections of what they're supposed to be. Like, he could go to the Chiefs and easily put up fucking 1,000 yards.
Oh, easily.
Like, fucking easily.
He's going to be what people talk about. People talk about Juju, like he's good on that year. He's going to be that. Whoa. Actually good.
Hey.
Juju, hey. Juju helped win a Super Bowl.
He is going to be what people talk about Juju was.
Watch your mouth when you talk about my man.
He is going to be what Juju is
His knees could give out at any point.
Any point.
Watch your mouth. Don't talk about Juju like that.
They talked about him like he was a top 20 receiver that year.
He was.
He was not.
He is. He's him.
He was not.
He's him. He'll TikTok dance on the Dallas Star. You think he cares?
Marquise Brown is
You think he cares?
Marquise Brown is a dog.
I did want to get into this kind of question is like, has the value of backup quarterbacks gone up? Because I feel like every team is stacking up at backup QB at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. Because like, what did we have, like 60?
God, stupid amounts of
starting quarterbacks last year?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Well,
Jake Browning's still available from all I'm
hearing.
hearing.
That's a crazy number.
And they want to fucking add a game to the season, so
stupid.
I mean,
they should add a second bye.
Yeah, if you're gonna add if you're gonna add another game.
Because I saw that from George Kittle. He went on a podcast and said that they should add a second bye week.
They should add a second bye and then because we have 17 games now, everybody has an international game.
That's fire.
You could make it, and then their bye would formulate into that next week.
Yep.
With the
you get one random bye week, and then you get 1 week right after or right before your international game.
They he also said that pushing it back 1 week would make it so the Super Bowl would end up on like
Labor Day or whatever.
President's Day,
yeah.
So people would have that next day off of work or whatever. That was his mindset towards it, and it makes sense. If the NFL players, I just, me being Barrel Talk podcast host, like I don't know, but like fucking if I'm the NFL and my players want something, I'm probably gonna give it to them. Like if they want a second bye week, sure, that's just another week of TV revenue. Like that's just more money in your pocket.
Like there has to be some sort of limitation that they have because it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't do that.
I don't.
Like it makes your players healthier, which we like because you get your best players playing all the time. You get more weeks of getting paid. Everything.
The NFL just might hate their players. You ever think about that? They just hate them.
They might hate you, like I do.
Especially with all the injuries that happened this year. I felt like they went through a couple week span where like every week like some big time player was just out for the season or out for a couple weeks or whatever. And like I don't know, I'm just of the mindset where like having an essential good backup
it's like it's huge needed.
Because I know Dobbs just went to the Niners. I think Minshew's gonna fucking start for the Raiders.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean listen, Chargers have a buffer year. Listen, Raiders gonna be second in that division. Mark my words. Be second in that division fighting for a wild card. You heard it here first.
Fighting for a while. That division is a joke.
It really is the Chiefs, and that's it.
Well,
who's starting for the Broncos?
It's Bo Nix.
What?
Oh,
No. Dude. Here we go.
No, it's probably
Trevor
fucking,
Siemian.
I don't.
Their savior.
Backup QBs are becoming way more essential.
Like they're
You need a
just
good one.
I don't know if he's been signed yet. I know Jake Browning before we
There's
got
a reason
Sam
they getting
Darnold,
paid
I
as
was
much as like running backs, like starting running backs.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're a good backup, you can be in the league forever, bro. Like Flacco just got signed by the Colts. Could they know AR could possibly have injury problems?
Yeah, like go back like 3 years, like all those random white guys who just wouldn't retire because they
Josh
knew that a team was going to give them
$45
$8 million. Yeah, Josh McCown, like I'm just going to stay in the NFL because you guys are going to give me money to just do nothing.
So
sure.
For what?
Zach Wilson tried to go initiate a trade somewhere. Didn't work out.
He wanted to go to the Niners.
Is his career done?
Yes.
Like, is it over with?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
No, he's done.
Zach Wilson's gonna play for the Steelers one day.
I'll kill myself. I'll do it.
No, I don't think like he showed some. He is one of the rare quarterbacks who is that ass who actually showed a little bit of promise. Like he had some good games. That Chiefs game, he was fire.
That Chiefs game was fire. It was PI. They should have won.
Bro, that was some bullshit.
I'm sorry. You cannot convince me that this dude couldn't do 75% of what Brock Purdy's doing.
In the Niners
system? You can't
system?
convince me. You cannot convince me.
He could.
Of it. I won't believe it. I just think he could do most of it.
He could.
I also think when watching him, like the second the pocket looks like it's going to collapse, that motherfucker is putting it. Like,
I am out.
He is out of there, bro.
He's so scared.
Like there is no like stepping up in the pocket, making that tough. Like
scared ass.
Soon as he sees one fucking linebacker, make 2 steps, he's out of there. He's out of there. He's gone.
Say less. I'm out.
Purdy is just. I have no bad things to say.
I don't think I have a good thing to say.
Because he down in 2 playoff games, came back, won them both against the Packers, against the Lions. You just gotta know it's going to Hardman on that flat. You just gotta know.
The same play they called last year.
You gotta know it's going in the flat.
I saw it coming. I was like, it's going to Hardman. Say goodnight.
I don't know if it was you guys. Like, when we were watching it, I was sitting there, time's running out. I was like, tweaking because new overtime rules. I'm like, wow, there's just like no timeout here. But they would have like been able to call the play anyway.
Yeah, because it would have been like a new quarter.
Yeah. So I was tweaking out. I was like, no, are they gonna like not snap the ball? Like I was just tweaking. I was tweaking the fuck out. But I don't know. Like Zach Wilson. Like when are we gonna give Trey Lance a chance?
Never.
When is it gonna happen? Never. I see.
Dude, one day when I wake up and I see Dak Prescott has been traded, Trey Lance will start for the Cowboys week 1. It's gonna be a good day.
That's what Jerry wakes up for?
Uh-huh.
What?
What's Dak?
Isn't Trey Lance y'all like open market? Dak Prescott?
Yeah. What's he worth?
He has allegations against him now.
Dak? Yeah, he does.
I did hear about that. Hey, that sucks.
That's tough. But that's America's quarterback.
What happens if it's true? Like
Trey Lance, you are the starting QB.
I don't remember what our backup's name is anymore.
Cooper Rush is gone.
In a minute. Cooper Rush.
Rush. That's what I was gonna say.
Like,
Lance
I'd rather
is like
start
fucking
Trey Lance.
emergency.
We got a mean QB battle in Dallas. Trey Lance and Cooper Rush.
Trey Lance. Like Cooper Rush, we know who that is. He got a ceiling. We don't know who Trey Lance is. Let him play.
I don't think Cooper Rush might not have a ceiling. I think he might just have a floor. And that's
You're saying that he doesn't. You're saying that he could be Tom Brady. You're saying he could be the GOAT.
No, I'm saying there's just a floor.
Yeah.
And that's the peak.
That's what that means.
I think he's a floor raiser.
I think he's in terms of backup. Ceiling?
Like he can.
There's a floor and below, and that's all. Like there's nothing there.
Like I'm seeing all these backup quarterbacks get like chance after chance. I'm like, Trey Lance is getting no chance. Like he can't be this ass.
What did he do? He did something wrong.
I don't know.
Man,
because he made everybody hate him.
Fuck, what's his name? If we're giving Trey Lance a chance, what about Josh Rosen? God damn it, he's out there somewhere. My king.
Josh Rosen deserved a chance, but now it's too late.
Somebody call Johnny Manziel
back and reminisce.
If you're telling me right now, I could have a QB room, Trey Lance and Sam Darnold with whoever we draft. I'm like, Trey Lance might win that fucking job.
Oh yeah.
He might.
He could.
He might. But like, him just wasting his time.
Like, I'd pay to be at those practices and watch what goes down.
Here's what's gonna happen. Watch. He's been sitting all these years, absorbing knowledge. He's gonna go somewhere, needs him. All of a sudden, QB out for the season, like Aaron Rodgers type shit. He's gonna go in there, QB controversy that next year because he throws for like a couple thousand yards, like 15 to 20 tutties. They're like, damn, he's serviceable. Desmond Ridder was starting last year in the NFL. Like, you tell me Trey Lance can't get a spot? Tell me Trey Lance. Trey Lance. They fighting for that division.
What?
If Atlanta had Trey Lance last year, I'll say it. They're fighting for that division.
Chat, he might be right. He might be right, chat.
I'm just
Chat is crazy.
Trey Lance, you know, I don't know. Wasn't he like giving like 3 first-round picks to trade him? San Francisco did. That's crazy. Like, that's got to be the fastest any person has ever gone at that price.
I can't believe they gave up on him so fast. That's what got me.
Yeah, like,
so there must be something the public.
Well, they probably didn't want to have to pay him.
Well, he also got hurt.
Yeah,
because they were doing.
That shit was nasty.
What
too.
was
that
his
was
ankle?
A gross ass injury.
Yeah,
so he got
his ankle.
hurt, and then you of course the Niners would just strike gold with Brock Purdy and have him be serviceable. So
that's what they do.
I think he should get a chance. Out of all these backups that are out here getting a chance, like Desmond Ridder, where did he's in Arizona.
Behind Kyler.
After the season he's in Arizona being a backup. So I'm like, you're telling me no team at the deadline?
No,
was
the
like
Raiders
Trey
should
Lance.
go get him. Fuck it. He's got to have more talent than Aiden O'Connell. I mean, come on.
I don't know. Minshew got that little that what do the kids call it?
That aura.
That aura. He got that aura about him.
Minshew.
Like,
listen here, brother. Give Trey Lance a chance. God damn it, please.
I'll always have them 2 weeks when we first got Dobbs. We beat Atlanta in Atlanta.
He did.
Desmond
Ridder's first home loss.
Like, when I tell you, like, I still had aspirations of like us making the playoffs. I saw Josh Dobbs